So there's 4 green cones on the left, and then there's 4 green cones on the right. Yeah? Yeah, ignoring the one on its own. 4 green cones, and then 4 green cones. Go through the yellow cones and into the parking bay on the right, facing the fence. So the set of 4 green cones to the right hand side of the yellow cones, you're going to go straight towards the fence and park your bike up, facing the fence. When you get there, make your bike safe and climb off. Neutral, ignition and side stand, and then climb off. So exercise 1. So there's your independent parking bay. There's your other parking bay. This is no man's land. So you're going to be pushing the bike backwards from that bay into that bay, so it's facing outwards, ready for the next exercise. Then when you're doing this, once you've got the bike up and off its side stand, you've got to do shoulder checks before you move the bike. Okay, take your time. There's no hurry. Well done. Slower, slower, slower. That's a bit quick, mate. Slow down, slow down. You go that quick, you'll drop it. Well done. Good. Do it slower next time when you get. The next exercise is the slalom into the figure of 8. So you're going to slalom through the yellows. Okay, go past the first yellow cone, in between the first 2. That's it. Go straight into the figure of 8 around the 2 blues. Okay, so no stopping, no putting your foot down. In theory, you should be going through the 2 blues in that direction if you go in from the correct direction here. Yeah, you're just going in and out, a smooth S shape, all the way up until you get to the 2 blues. When you get to the 2 blues, you're going to do a figure of 8 around the 2 blues. Okay, and you just keep doing that figure of 8 until the examiner calls you over to one side or the other. The width that you can use for your figure of 8 is the second tarmac line, so the one running off the white line here. Don't try and do it too slow or too tight, because if you do it too slow or too tight, your foot's likely to come down. Keep it faster and wider. Okay, and you just keep doing it until the examiner calls you over. It'll be about 2 or 3 full figures of 8 before they call you over. They'll either call you to this side or that side. It won't make any difference to you which side they call you to. It's just that they'll either run around the big bend for the faster exercises in that direction, stopping at these cones, or in that direction, stopping at those cones. And they'll only do it in one direction on the day. But for the exercise that it makes a difference for, which is the avoidance, we'll practice both directions. Okay. All right, start it up. All in first gear. So all your slow stuff's in first gear. Slalom into your figure of 8. Keep doing the figure of 8 until I call you over. Not too quick. If you go in too quick, it's quite hard to finish this. Well done. Nice. Got lovely control. Great stuff. Keep it wide. Look through the middle. Look at the cone, the blue one. Whoops, keep it wide, mate. No, come back. Figure of 8. Figure of 8. Where are you going? Figure of 8 round the 2 blues. Okay, so when you get to the 2 blues, draw an 8 around it and keep drawing that 8. That's it. Keep it wide. Don't try and tuck it in. Just keep it wide. You don't have to do it tight, alright? Keep it wide and keep it fast. You do it too tight and too slow, you're more likely to overbalance it a bit. Get it so it's smooth, because you're having to chuck it round at the moment, so a bit smoother and a bit wider. That's it. Nice. Nice. Good. So take yourself back to the beginning. Good, well done. Nice. Slower this time. It's better. It needs to look under control at all times. Very nice. Lovely, on you get. On your hop. We'll do it again. We'll do slalom straight into your figure of 8. Don't go back down the yellows this time. So once you've finished the yellows, just go straight into your figure of 8 around the 2 blues. Try and keep it really smooth. Lovely. Nice. Speed up just a little bit and keep it wide. Good, just keep it wide so you're not chucking it over and feeling that little bit of a drop. You shouldn't be feeling the drop, it should just be nice and smooth. Smooth as you come through and lean it back over. That's better. If you want to ride slightly into the middle, turn the bike around and come back down towards me so you're facing the blue cones at the bottom down there. So turn it round, come back down towards me. That's it. Try and stay away from the cones if you can. You don't want to be inadvertently kicking one or touching one. Bring it to a smooth stop around here-ish, facing those blue cones. Well done, that's lovely. Now we've smoothed it out a little bit, that's really nice. So just keep it smooth, make it look like it's totally under control and it's not going whoo as you're chucking it over. Okay, so slow ride in a straight line is the next exercise, no more than 4 miles an hour. The examiner needs to be able to walk behind you, not have to trot to catch up with you. So once you've set off, if you set off a bit quick, get the clutch back in and a little bit of rear brake and just hold it steady at 4 miles an hour or less, stopping with your front wheel in the box made by the blue cones. Take your time. Shoulders, nice, well done. Sorry, I thought you weren't going to do it then, apologies. Good. Lovely, that's really nice. Good. So just bearing in mind, you might be doing this exercise, or these exercises, he may, at the end of the figure of 8, he might have called you over to that side and then they'll get you to ride down towards those cones instead. It really depends on which side they choose on the day and we never know which side they're going to choose. So for your U-turn, shoulder checks, get your balance, get yourself over to the line. Get another shoulder check done. And then look at where you want to land and bring it round, stopping just before the white line ends-ish. Make sure your bars are straight. If your bars aren't straight by the time you're stopping, just keep going until they are. Alright, take your time. There's only one U-turn on the day and it's just a case of making sure it's under control. Good. That's it, get your balance. Don't go too slow, that's really slow. A little bit of power as you're bringing it round. Look at where you want to land, power. Good. It always worries me when people set off dead slow for a U-turn. Because the bike suddenly drops. Good. The next exercise is the controlled stop. This one doesn't have a speed requirement, but you're going to get into 4th gear. Head over to the very far right corner where you can see red cones next to the fence and blue cones slightly to their left. So in 4th gear, you're going to enter the bend between the red cones and the blue cones, follow the red cones around, it's a bend, at about 20 miles an hour. Okay, coming out of the bend between the red cones and the blue cones, and you're going to come straight down the middle of the 2 reds, the reds and the yellows and the 2 reds. Stopping here with your front wheel in the box under normal braking conditions. This is called the controlled stop, so it's normal braking. They want to see that you can stop in a specified location, like at traffic lights. So make sure your front wheel's in the box, you're doing normal braking on the approach and you're sorting your gears out as you're coming down. There is no speed requirement for this one, okay, but on the next 2 exercises there is a speed requirement. Very nice, well done, perfect. So the next exercise is the emergency stop. For the emergency stop there is a speed requirement. You're going to take the same route over to the far corner in 4th gear. As you're coming out of the bend this time, you need to accelerate towards the speed trap, which is the metal bar between the red and the yellow cones. You see there's a metal bar, you can see it on that side, there's the same metal bar between these red and yellow cones on this side. So you accelerate towards the speed trap. In fourth gear it'll get there or thereabouts, and it's 50 kilometers an hour, which is about 30 to 35 miles an hour, but don't look at your speedo. The last person who looked at their speedo failed because they missed the examiner's hand coming up for the stop, okay? So don't look down, alright? Accelerate towards the speed trap. Shortly after the yellow cones, my hand will come up. That's when you start your braking process. What's the first thing you do to slow the bike down? Yes, then what? No, what comes before that? Yeah, well done. I know that sounds really daft, but a lot of people, when they then go for the front brake, pull against the throttle and reopen it. So make sure you roll off the throttle gently, don't whack it off, just gently roll off, gently start with your front brake, and we're going to squeeze it more and more and more and more all the way through to the stop. Don't do anything grabby or sudden. With a little bit of rear brake added in, and the clutch comes in. It doesn't matter on the day if you forget about the clutch and you stall. So long as your braking is brilliant and you're stopping the bike nice and quickly without losing control, if you stall, you don't even get a fault for it. So if you do stall, don't worry about it. Just start the bike up, put it into first gear and pretend it didn't happen. Think about getting your shoulder checks done before you move off. It's as simple as that. So accelerate towards the speed trap. When the hand comes up, gently roll off. Gently start with your front brake, but squeeze it more and more and more all the way through to the stop. A little bit of rear brake, not too much. Clutch comes in. If you activate the ABS because you stamped on it or grabbed it, just keep braking and it'll do its job. Okay. No, but that's the point. So keep braking, don't release and reapply. You don't need to because it'll do its job properly and you'll still stop in a good distance. It doesn't matter really if you activate it a little bit on the day. They won't fail you for it, but you should be able to do it with no ABS whatsoever because it's good practice. Because if you've got bikes that don't have ABS, obviously you need to know how to use your brakes correctly. So you get 2 goes to meet the speed requirement. So if you're too slow the first time, they'll tell you and say, would you like to try that again? Where you should be stopping is a roundabout in line with the gate. So if you imagine a line drawn across from the gate all the way over here, you shouldn't be any further forwards than that line. So your aim is to stop the bike as quickly and safely as you can without losing control. Are you happy with that? Fabulous. I'll let you know the speed that you do. Well done. Try not to change gear. That was just habit, wasn't it? But your braking was good. You were 49 kilometers an hour as you came through the speed trap, which is just under. It needs to be 50 and above, but it doesn't matter because 48 and 49 you'll pass with a fault. 47 and below, they'll ask you if you want to do it again. Your braking was beautiful. Just keep it in fourth as you come out of the bend and just accelerate, no gear changes. Good, let's go round and do that again. That was nice. Well done, mate. Don't forget your shoulder checks next time. Keep squeezing that front brake. You could have stopped shorter than that time. That just lingered for a bit, didn't it? 57 kilometers an hour as you came through. I mean, your stopping distance is fine, but for someone who's more experienced, you could definitely stop that bike quicker. Well done. Yeah, let's do it again. You're getting used to it. It's nice. Well done, mate. Good, nice checks. Okay, way too much rear brake. That's what ABS feels like. So this time I want you to do it with no rear brake whatsoever, just front brake. Okay, just pretend you're using the rear brake and then we'll go back to adding in a smidgen of it. Good, well done, very nice. That was nice. 53 kilometers an hour as you came through, lovely braking and no ABS. So let's do it again. Add the little bit of rear brake back in, but only a little bit. Okay, and keep squeezing that front brake. Good, nice one. 55, very good. That's fine. Okay, you're going to ace it. This is racetrack tarmac, by the way, so if it's teaming it down with rain, you do the same emergency stop. All right, we wouldn't tell you to do that if it wasn't safe, because obviously you're on £8 worth of bike. So the last exercise is the avoidance. We're going to practice this in both directions. So for the avoidance, from where you are, same thing, up to the far corner, ride around the bend in fourth gear at about 20 miles an hour. Accelerate towards the speed trap a little bit more, because at the speed trap you're going to roll off the throttle. Okay, once you've rolled off the throttle and you've started to lean, you're going to push away on your left bar, bring the bike between the two blues, and then push away on your right bar to bring the bike back on line to stop between these 2 cones because I'm going to move this one. At the speed trap, you roll off the throttle, start to lean, push away on your left bar through the 2 blues, push away on your right bar, stopping somewhere between these 2 blues. The cone that most people kick over is the blue one next to the red one. So make sure that when you're going around that, because that's the one you're going around in between the 2 blues, you're going around that blue one. Make sure you aim for the blue cone that's by itself so you go a bit wider. You're going in between the 2 blues. And again, you get 2 goes to meet the speed requirement. Okay, sort of. It's alright. Through the speed trap, and then before the blues, you need to go between the 2 blues. You went between the reds and then you did the swerve. You did the correct swerve, you just did it after the cones. You need to go between the 2 blues. Yeah, the speed was 48, so that's okay. That's a pass with a fault. Don't care about the fault, by the way. You could just go a smidgen faster before the speed trap. But just get used to the route first. Alright, between the 2 blues. You did the correct action, you just did it a bit too late. It's alright? Nice. There we go. You can be a bit smoother than that though. Not quite so aggressive. 55, that was plenty with speed. Now just make it smoother. He won't mark you down on that, I'm just trying to make you into a smoother person. 56, you are really close to that blue cone. You're so close to knocking it over. Just try and take it a little bit wider. Yeah, your speed was fine. Just watch your line so you're not anywhere near it. Keep your toes tucked in as well. That's better. Miles away from it now. Good. Don't tempt fate by getting too close to it because that's a waste of your money. Good. Very, very nice. Right. This is the only exercise that we need to practice in the other direction as well. So if you just want to turn the bike around. Nice. You're very consistent with your speeds. That's 56 nearly every single time. Very nice. Doesn't need to be any faster than that. Was 59. Alright, it's plenty. Good. Right, do you want to have a go at the whole thing? We'll do a mock test.